notice, and this is typical copyright. We continue with mathematics syllabus for CSEC. Just a reminder that this syllabus became effective in May-June 2018. Normally it runs for 10 years. However, as of December 2025, this syllabus has not been revised, but there are plans to change the structure of the exam from 2028 and onwards, with a few pilot projects now being conducted in a few Caribbean countries. The syllabus remains unchanged. However, there are two main changes as it relates to the structure of the exam. The first one is to split the exam into two parts, maybe a part A and a part B, and then the structured questions in paper 2, there will no longer be any choice. You will answer all the questions as set in the exam. As you are aware by now, these first 3 sections have all been completed and published in their entirety on YouTube. So please make good use of them. Section 4, 5 of those have been published on YouTube out of 17. Section 5, statistics, 5 of those have been published on YouTube out of 18. And section 6, 7 of these have been published on YouTube out of 22. Because it took some time to set up the online school, I have had to reschedule the last 3 parts. So as it stands now, section 7, relations, functions, and graphs. This is the 3rd of 26 videos, and hopefully by the end of February 2026, that is this month, all these videos will be published, either totally or partially. And then part 8, section 8, geometry and trigonometry by March 2026. And finally, section 9, vectors and matrices by April-May 2026. Please note this disclaimer down here. This schedule is just a projection and it is not to be interpreted as a contract with anybody. As I said, all 33 videos from section 1 have been published in their entirety on YouTube, especially since this section forms the foundation on which the rest of the syllabus is based. Another reminder that you need to know the times tables from 2 to 12, since calculators are not allowed in paper 1. From section 2, consumer arithmetic, all 12 of these videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 3, sets, all 6 of these videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 4, measurement. Some of these have been published on YouTube in their entirety, as indicated in yellow here, and the others are only partially published. Please see directions in the description below for full access to these videos that are only partially published on YouTube. Section 5, statistics, same pattern. These 5 videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety, and the others only partially published. Again, please see directions in the description below for full access to these videos that are only partially published on YouTube. Section 6, algebra. These indicated in yellow here have been published on YouTube in their entirety. The others are only partially published. By now, if you need full access to these videos that are only partially published, please see directions in the description below. We are now at section 7, relations, functions, and graphs. This section has 26 objectives and 26 videos. As you can see here, 26 videos. Before we go on, recall I had said in the introductory video that you will need a good math textbook or a set of two to get more practice questions. CSEC recommends the following, shown at right over here. From these, please pay close attention to these last two down here, especially since they form a very good 2-volume set of math textbooks that is quite adequate for the current CSEC math exam and the modified future CSEC math exam. This is a picture of Volume 1, Mathematics, a Complete Course with CSEC questions by Raymond Tulsi. And this is a picture of Volume 2. Note another disclaimer down here. I get no financial or other benefits from the sale of these books. Also, very recently, late 2024, I think, a website with AI interactivity has been made available free of cost that deals with past CSEC math questions only. You can navigate by topics or years, where all questions for the past several years have been worked out for you. If you still have a question that you need explained, you can ask the AI assistant either by text or voice, and most likely that will be explained for you. It is extremely important that you become familiar with how CSEC sets its questions for paper 2 and what will be considered good or acceptable or correct answers to such questions. This is the URL for that website. The home page is shown on the next slide. So this is the home page. You will have to register first and subsequently sign in. Again, this is the URL up here. This URL will be included in the description of this video below, so you can easily click on it and be redirected to this website. A reminder that during the examination, you will be provided with a formula sheet that is for the CSEC math examination papers. The formula sheet looks like this that you see here. This formula sheet is included in the syllabus if you have a full copy of the syllabus, and if not, there will be a link in the description below from where this formula sheet can be downloaded. This is the top part of that formula sheet, so you can see it a little closer. Note that you do not need to learn these formulae or to memorize them, as this formula sheet will be provided during the examination. And this is the below part of that same formula sheet. And while you do not need to memorize these formulae, you do need to know when and how to use them. So, section 7, relations, functions, and graphs. This is a print screen from the first page up to objective 5. And just for you to get an overview, this is up to objective 9, again, print screen. Up to objective 13, that is a print screen. Up to objective 17, up to objective 20, up to objective 22, and finally up to objective 26. That's a print screen. This section, as I previously pointed out, has 26 objectives. We will do one objective per video, so we have 26 videos. We have completed objective 1 in video 1, and that is published in its entirety on YouTube. Objective 2 has been completed, that's video 2, and that is only partially published on YouTube. We are now at objective 3, which is video 3, and when this is finished, it will only be partially published on YouTube. So we are here, objective 3, and it says, state the characteristics that define a function. We were introduced to that previously in this section, But now we are going to look at functions a little closer. We need to talk about the concept of functions, and then examples and non-examples of functions. Now, the non-examples are much easier than previously when we were looking at relations. So the concept of functions. Now let's revisit some mapping diagrams from the last video to show the 4 common types of relations. Now remember, we are talking about functions here. Now you have this one, which is a one-to-one relation. You have this one, which is a one-to-many relation. You have this one, which is a many-to-one relation. And you have this one, which is a many-to-many. If you look at those 4 relations closely, in which of these relations does an element of the domain map onto only one element of the codomain? Which of them? And you could see this one here. This one here, the elements from the domain maps only onto one element in the codomain. No, this one here, you have this element, for example, that maps onto more than one. Over here, yes, this element from the domain maps onto B. This element from the domain maps onto B. This element from the domain maps onto B. But in the end, an element from the domain maps only onto one element in the codomain. And then this other one here, you have an element there maps into 3 elements of the codomain. So as we said, this is not a function, and neither is that. The one-to-one and the many-to-one are functions. So this one over here is a function, one-to-one. And this one over here also is a function, many-to-one.